welcome you to my channel. Thank you for your support. So stay with me and I'm gonna share some vocabulary units which will come in handy for description of someone's personality. You might consider them not really important, but guys, what will you tell your friend when she asks you to describe your boss? Or let's say, what would you answer if your buddy asked about a cute guy you got acquainted in the park? So here we are, the lesson which could be helpful for you when you describe people's characters, their ways of thinking, reactions in response to various situations. Furthermore, we are gonna try to combine the opposite qualities. That is, when I prove a positive feature, then you'd certainly like to know a negative one. So let's start it. Active, which could be treated as energetic or eager to do something. And on the contrary, when people are unwilling to work, they are called lazy. So let's prove an example here. George is so active working out every single day, but Emily feels lazy to get up early in the morning. Then when someone is asking you if the person was to be trusted, they normally wish an honest person. So remember, honest, that is the one that always tells the truth. And we can also make honest negative, which will be converted to dishonest. Let's say if you are honest in a particular situation, you tell the complete truth or give your sincere opinion even if this is not very pleasant. Then guys, for the matters of trust, I'd like to mention the following adjective, which is reliable. If someone is reliable, he or she can be trusted or believed that they will work or behave in the way you expect. For instance, he's really reliable. You can always count on him. What he says, he'll do. Then regarding antonym of reliable, unreliable is the one to be used if you'd like to express that the person is unable to cope with what was promised by him or by her. Let's say, I wouldn't ask Helen to do it. She's completely unreliable. Then guys, sometimes if you are in need to use synonyms, especially while writing an essay or a letter, I'd like to suggest you words to express the ability of a person to be trusted, which are so similar in their meanings to previously mentioned items and can be used interchangeably. So, trustworthy versus untrustworthy. So far, I hope you've got the meaning. Trustworthy is the one able to be trusted or relied on. On the contrary, untrustworthy is not able to be relied on as honest or trustful. In a nutshell, now we are able to judge people according to their degree of honesty. I'm just kidding. It's actually a bad idea to talk about someone behind his back. To acknowledge, I must add one more adjective which is somehow related to those we've just discussed, that is responsible. Isn't it beautiful? So one more time, responsible. Some consider reliable and responsible as synonyms and replace them in particular cases. So what I suggest here, let's figure out what is the difference between these adjectives. So, reliable mostly describes a person's willingness to cope with the situation, to be trusted in the case of hardships, to fulfill the things that were granted. A really important thing is to mention that a reliable person is treated as one that will do everything to help those who are dear for him or her. Then, since responsible is considered, it shows one's ability to perform the demanded task, to cope with imposed requirements on time. So, to clear up, responsible people mostly perform their duties as assigned necessities while working, for example, or while taking care of their families. they were trained or brought up in the way they are supposed to follow generally accepted manners. Imagine the case while both reliable and responsible men are working for the same company, and they have an obligation to finish the project till the end of the week. However, in accordance with unexpected circumstances, a boss is asking to have coped with the task before the deadline for the sake of the company welfare. So, my sweeties, a reliable person will be the first to satisfy the needs of the company, and only a reliable man will do it as specified by his feelings. Regarding a responsible person, surely one will try his best to finish the project, but the goal will be determined by the authority request. Anyway, guys, both reliable and responsible features are welcomed, so we have to work out hard to obtain them. Unlike those who don't usually worry to show a proper sense of responsibility. Yeah, guys, I'm talking about irresponsible people. So let's practice irresponsible. For instance, I would be treated as irresponsible person if I didn't advise my company to fulfill this project. Okay, here we go. And next in our list is fair. This one often can be confused with honest. But fairness is actually all about lack of favoritism toward one side or another. That is, a fair person treats everyone equally, not allowing personal opinion to influence the attitude towards the others. Let's say, being rather old-fashioned and fair, she causes problems for all the co-workers who were used to profit out of every situation. Then, what is opposite of fair? Unfair. So remember, an unfair person doesn't treat people in an equal way. For instance, I think that you're being unfair while discriminating that poor guy's rights. So guys, now we'll talk about such character traits which are related to the way we deal with reality and accept it. You must hear the following adjectives like optimistic and pessimistic daily. So, an optimistic person always hopes that good things will happen in the future. Vice versa, pessimistic people tend to see mostly the worst aspects of things or believe that the worst will happen. For instance, an optimistic person always sees challenges in life as a blessing, while a pessimistic person always interprets them as a burden or something which is evil. Then guys, since optimistic people are being positive and have tendency to follow up their ambitions and dreams, lots of them turn to be ambitious. So, an ambitious man is recognized by having a strong desire to be successful, powerful, rich. For instance, he is an ambitious man with a strong personality. On the contrary, when one is not motivated by a strong desire or determination to succeed, we deal with an unambitious person. So, keep in mind, unambitious. We can also add here lazy, indifferent, and so on. Let's say we, the people, shouldn't be unambitious creatures without special skills. Then, as you are supposed to understand, ambitious people got lots of achievements in their lives. No wonder, since they are accompanied by many other features except ambitions. We are gonna discuss them just at the moment. So, creative, and I'd like to prove another adjective for comparison, that is imaginative. Are these synonyms? Okay, let's figure it out. So, in its origin, creativity is the act of creating something in the real world, while imagination deals with unreal thoughts. Just analyze. Imagine, which means to picture. I'd say to paint something in our minds. And consequently, all the creativity is the result of imagination. Yeah, it's how it is. Let's say if you never imagined that it is a possibility for cars to fly in the sky, then how can you implement it? I'll prove you an example to get an idea of what I'm talking. Being an incredibly imaginative child, he turned into an intelligent, creative personality with a bunch of fresh ideas in his head. Then let's move on. I'm convinced that you often hear such kind of expressions as he's so clever or he's so wise. But guys, again, my question is, are both clever and wise showing the same level of one's IQ? So I'll start my explanation with Albert Einstein's quote. A clever person solves the problem, while a wise person avoids it. Here we are. So according to a great scholar, it's better to be wise to avoid problems than to be so clever with a bunch of problems and seek out the solutions. So my sweeties, a clever person learns the things as they are or as they should be. At the same time, wisdom is a skill of seeking things as they are and learning from them. That is, the obvious difference is that being clever is a process of learning, while being wise is a project of experience. So let's switch on a sense of humor. A clever person would know a tomato is a fruit. A wise person wouldn't put it into a fruit salad. Here we are. So guys, then you will tell me, what about smart? It's so often heard here and there. Right, I completely agree. But let me get it from perspective of intelligence. That is, we are gonna distinguish between smart and intelligent, as those two have much in common. Okay, when we learn and study, we become smarter in the subject matter. Intelligence is something with which a person is born. His IQ is a measurement of his intelligence. It doesn't actually change because it is a measure of his ability to learn. Someone smart is a person who uses his intelligence on a daily basis through the whole lifelong cycle. So guys, you will ask me, what about antonyms? Are you really eager to learn them? But anyway, we are supposed to know everything being intelligent. But I don't wish you to use them. Just try being smart. So guys, we are gonna distinguish among stupid, ignorant, silly, and foolish. Therefore, stupidity is a lack of intelligence, understanding, reason, or wit. At the same time, when ignorance means a lack of knowledge or experience. Let's say I'm ignorant of different brands in the cosmetic marketing, but if you call me stupid, I'll be really offended. So therefore, a person could be really intelligent in particular fields, but completely ignorant about some other issues. Let's say authors of the books are mostly ignorant about the realities of publishing. But keep in mind, a word ignorant also can describe an impolite person that shows disrespect. For instance, I met some very ignorant people who called me all kinds of names. Then, when we move back to stupid, I have to inform you that in American English, people often use dumb instead of stupid. But be aware, the term dumb was originally used to refer to someone who lacked the power of speech. Then, when we take into account silly, it can be defined as showing a lack of common sense or judgment, and regarding foolish, it is always used as a negative term. It is never good to be foolish, as it means stupid. Silly can also be negative, but whereas foolish has stronger perspective of stupidity, while silly usually means not serious. A person can act silly in intentionally to have fun or to make jokes. On the contrary, no one wishes to be foolish ever. For instance, it was so foolish of me to commit such a great mistake in my life, but the worst thing happened afterwards when I acted like a silly girl by ignoring all the consequences of the issue. Okay guys, that's all for today. We'll continue learning more adjectives to describe personality in English during our next video lesson. We are gonna discuss some adjectives in order to show people's attitude towards each other. Now I am looking forward to hearing from you. Please comment in the special box below the video. We'll see each other in a couple of days. Bye, my sweethearts!